Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And this is Harsha Ramaya, the ECA National Core Committee member. And today I'm here to present a wonderful topic. Before that, I would really like to thank Dr. Swati Popat-Watts for designing this entire topic so beautifully. Swati ma'am has already conducted this session on a Google Hangout long back when the lockdown was announced, because we all educators were struggling how to lesson plan for home-based learning. So the entire research, the PPT, everything, the whole credit I would like to give to Dr. Swati Popat-Watts. And thank you, ma'am, that I'm allowed to, take this session. Because I think this is the need of an hour, and each and every educator, each and every school management is really struggling as to how to design a perfect, a balanced home-based learning program. So here I will not take much time and share my screen to the wonderful PPT that has been made by Dr. Watts. The PPT is very self-explanatory. It'll just take a minute. I hope everyone is able to look at the PPT. Just a moment till the time I get a hang on this PPT. It's a very, very beautiful PPT. There's a poster also, which is made by ECA, and we have circulated this entire poster also on all the groups. I'm sure you all must have received that. Yes, I think I have connected. Yeah. So this is a wonderful PPT that is made by Dr. Watts, and the entire PPT, when you run through this PPT, it itself is very self-explanatory. So when we are planning our home-based learning plan, because it is very different from the traditional school learning lesson plan that we make for the children when they come to school, and this plan is entirely different. So we have to focus and we have to stress upon a few points when we are designing home-based learning plan for these children. So number one point that Dr. Watts has very nicely mentioned is that a lot of information explosion, lot of information diarrhea is happening over entire social media. So if we want to take a video, there are a lot of platforms available from which we can take the content. But here we have to just check that any content that we are taking from any forwards, any platforms that we are using, or any searches, that engines that we are using, we have to check that whether the content that we have taken is developmentally appropriate for the child. Because we get carried away when we look at the content and we feel that, okay, this is good to be included in our lesson plans. Pinterest or any other web searches have very good content, but we have to filter that content. And I most probably feel that when we are filtering this contents, we have to add the touch, because whenever we pick up anything from the search engines does not fit in our requirement. So I think we have to bridge that gap. We have to make it to that level that it is able to go to our children properly. So I think number one is to check whether it is developmentally appropriate for the child. So I think any content that we pick up from the web searches, we have to tailor stitch that content and bring it to the level of our school children. Second is, I'm really facing a lot of trouble with this, because many parents, many school leaders have really come across, and they have told us that we are facing problem when it comes to completing the curriculum, because parents want the curriculum to be finished, because the lockdown was announced so sudden that schools were in midst of ending their year. So they were not able to plan the next year. Some schools were in the midst of their exams. Some schools were in the midst of starting the new term. So it was altogether a toss. So here we would like to focus that completing the curriculum is important because parents will want to, but ensure, we really want to focus on this, that we should ensure that we do not design our plan in such a way that only screen based activity are focused, only worksheets are focused. So we have to keep a balance when we are planning, because we have 6 days in a week. So each day we have to design in a way that it is a balance, so that we don't give too much of a screen time, nor we offer too much of a worksheet based activity also. So here we need to have a connect. I think we very specifically mentioned about the connect in all our webinars, that how important it is to make a connect in this lockdown. Because as the teachers are missing their students, even the students are missing their teachers. So this connect is very, very important when it comes to lesson planning. So our lesson planning should not only focus on the syllabus, on the worksheets, or on the screen-based activities. The connection of the teacher here is very, very important. Then importantly, we have to guide the parents to make the children talk on the phone with their school friends. This is a very important activity when it comes to social development, because now children are locked in the houses. They are not able to go out, meet their friends. So I think there is some frustration in the children also. So they may express this frustration in different forms. So it's very important for the parents to streamline this and get the children, give the children an environment wherein the children feel that they are connected socially to their friends and their relatives or their teachers, everyone. So I think here we mentioned that always do not encourage video calls. Allow the children to communicate on other platforms also. Like a simple telephone can be very nice, because it will help the children improve the listening skills. Because when it comes to the visuals, a different set of development happens. But when you are just lifting up the normal telephone and you are talking, a lot of listening skills are developed through that process. So we request the parents to try and encourage these kind of things, because when children talk to their friends, or when the children is talking, when the children are talking to their teachers or any relatives in that matter, a lot of expression happen. Children are able to express freely. So I think that we need, the parents also need to give that platform to the children to express. So talking over a phone is a wonderful expression. So I think every single day there should be a fixed time कि चलो ठीक है, आज हम इस friend को phone करेंगे, या आज हम इस teacher को phone करेंगे, या आज हम इस relatives को phone करेंगे. So it will be entirely a very nice and a rejuvenating process. Have a combination of life skills in the planning. So this is the term I really like, because in this process of lockdown, I think we all have understood the importance of life skills. Earlier, when we used to, talk about life skills, they were really underrated. And if the schools opted for life skills, a lot of justification had to be given to the parents, because parents in the sense, the other fraternity apart from the educators, don't find the need. But today, when we are in the scenario of a lockdown, I think everyone understands that yes, life skills are the survival skills. They are the essential skills which are required. So whenever we are planning our lesson plan during, specifically for this lockdown, because we are very uncertain that when this lockdown is going to be lifted. So whenever we are planning our program, our lesson for this home-based learning program, I think we have to focus on giving social emotional development a huge place in our planning. So life skills are very, very important, and we can incorporate life skills in our lesson planning. Also, we have to add home chores. I think really this is a very wonderful point, because it keeps the children engaged. Plus, when they are involved in any home chore activity that they are doing, it gives them it gives them a It keeps them connecting. It gives them a feeling of accomplishment, when they are helping us in just laying a table down, helping in dusting. And when we plan these things in our curriculum, and when we give it to the parents, even parents understand the importance, and it becomes a joint effort of the school, the parent, and the child. So all the three are involved in this process. So it can be anything, for example, folding the laundry, making the beds, laying the dining table, helping the children in dusting, watering the plants, anything. But I'm sure that we all have to keep in mind that any activity that we are designing has to be age appropriate, and has to be very, very descriptive when it goes to the children. So we need to handhold the parents when we are planning, and we have to then ask them to deliver it with their children. Even cooking activities, I'm sure during this lockdown, a lot of social media has taken over it, that we find fun, cute videos of the children helping their parents, to just help them in the kitchen activities, rather sorting out the vegetables, putting them in the bag, and helping set the refrigerator. And a lot of things are there, when children are involved in the cooking activities. And believe me that most of the children love to get involved in the cooking activities. Because if I give an example of my daughter, if at all I'm in the kitchen and doing something, she will run to me and she'll tell me that, Mama, give me the atta, give me this, give me one belan, and I will, roll the roti out. So children really love these kind of activities. And let me tell you that a lot of learning also happens. In one of the sessions, I was hearing Swati ma'am tell that when you are in the kitchen, it's not only that you are making food, it's the arts, it's the science, and everything. Mathematics also can be learned through this kitchen process. So if you involve children in cooking activities in the entire process, a lot of learning happens. So I think when we are designing our curriculum for home based learning, I think we can incorporate these activities, that, okay, today is going to be a lemonade making day. Today is going to be a sandwich making day. So, by that activity, children get engaged in cooking activities. Plus, they have a knowledge of all the ingredients. So automatically learning happens in that process. So we have to incorporate cooking activities also in our lesson plan that we are planning, because then I think our lesson plan is going to be diversified. It's not going to stick only to the screens, only the teacher coming over the screen and doing something, or only the worksheets that are being given through the PDFs or through the emails. So this is going to be a live and experience that the children are going to experience and remember for life. So it's a wonderful activity. Next, have activities that require the child to bond with parents and family. So here also it becomes the educator's role, and it's very important role when we are designing these activities, because we have to streamline the activities and give it to the parents, and then the parents know the way ahead. Because here at this point of time, parents are also very confused. So in our daily plan, lesson plan, the weekly lesson plan that we are doing, we have to keep in mind the bonding. So we can incorporate games like snakes and ladders, Ludo. There are many such games, Scrabble. There are many such games. So age appropriate you can select, or the second option is that if you select any game, you can add to the difficulty level. So if you're selecting snakes and ladders for a toddler, it can be very simple. If you're selecting the same game for the junior KG or the grade 1 or grade 4 child, you can add the level of difficulties to each section, and the same game can go with all the standards or all the grades. So it is very, very interesting. And through this process of playing games also, the children can learn so many things. So I think we need to explore and widen our timetable, widen our planning, and not restrict it only to the sessions that are conducted by the teacher on the camera, or the worksheets that are being sent. Because I think in between, when the teacher is delivering a session and the worksheets, I think there is a lot of gap. So these activities, if we plan in, it will bridge that gap. And, we will be able to offer a lot of variety to the children. A lot of other aspects will be covered in this process. So I very strongly suggest that when you are planning your home-based curriculum, please focus on these skills. So you have 6 days and you can, lay out each day with a different activity. And when you look at the outcome of that activity, I think the outcome is much more than only the screen or the worksheet activity. So that bridge, if you are able to, weave all these activities in your lesson plan, I think you are able to do it to the optimum. A wonderful activity that is suggested by Dr. Watts include outdoor time to like going for a walk, in this time, let me be very specific that when we are talking about going for a walk, please ensure that you are, in your society and not breaking the rules that the government has said. So you can, walk. What I do is that I have a lobby. I live in an apartment, so I have a lobby access to my house. So what I do, I walk over there with my child. So I stand in my gallery and stargaze. So the stargazing is a beautiful activity because otherwise, we never got time. So this is a beautiful activity. So you can follow the rules that the government has, told us, and then you can also do these activities with the children. Rather, you can prescribe these activities in your lesson plan to the children, because these activities are very, very important. And vitamin D, because we all are staying indoors, it is very important to get that vitamin D. So let's include such activity wherein the child gets that vitamin D also during that activity. So again, I will stress that when you are planning, do not restrict your activity only to the screen and only to the worksheets. So this bridge is very, very important. A walk with a dad, absolutely, in the night or during the daytime, whenever the time is available, stargazing. I was also doing that activity. Plus, I started experimenting to watch the sunset. I was experimenting to watch the sun rise as well. So this is a beautiful activity. And when we give it to the children and when we, include them in our lesson plans, it becomes very, very important for the parents to then execute that. So parent children yoga is a big stress buster. So this activity, we have a lot of time and a lot of tutorials, a lot of videos are available. So we can, cut that, edit that, and, pass it to our children, our parents, so that they can incorporate these activities at home, and they become, they also take a place in our lesson plan, which is very, very important. So when you incorporate all these things in your lesson plan, 6 days lesson plan, you will feel that yes, you have a varied lesson plan, you have various activity, and you have touched upon many aspects of learning, which are not limited only to ABCs, which are not limited only to the worksheets. Because when you loop in all these activities, when you weave in all these activities in your lesson plan, I think we are making a very, very interesting lesson plan. And in this process, we are incorporating the social emotional development of a child. We are connecting the child to the nature, which is very, very important. We are connecting the child, we are developing the life skills, the survival skills of the child. We are connecting the child to the cooking activities. In a whole, I think the whole lesson plan is going to be very, very interesting, very, very informative. So the 10th point I really like is the word art is just a. So ensure an ample dose of drawing, painting, origami, dance, playing a musical instrument, rhymes, listening to songs and stories. Absolutely, the word earth itself has art in it. So I think we have to, our curriculum, when we are sitting to design the curriculum, we have to touch upon all these points. So it should not be only focusing to the concepts, it should not be only focusing to the ABCs, to the one, two, three, or explaining the lessons that are in the book. So I think it has to be a combination. So painting is a wonderful source of art, wonderful source of expression. Origami, children really love, and when it comes to origami, I think kinesthetic learners, I have come across, those, they really love to fold paper and, make something out of it. So it is a kind of engaging activity also. So you can make a short video of any origami that you want to do. You can post it on your parents group and ask the children to do the same. Then dance. Yes, it's a wonderful activity. So also it keeps you going, because we all are now, glued to the couches, to the sofas. So it gets us going. So in your lesson planning, it is important that you focus on all these aspects also, wherein children get time to dance, play a musical instrument. I think when we incorporate these things, it will help the children develop a hobby in process. So it is really very important when we incorporate these things and give certain time and certain platform for children to express. So I think when we are planning a painting activity or an origami activity, dance activity, I think simultaneously we are focusing on developing a child's hobby as well. So even a lot of musical instruments the children love to play. So we can always try and incorporate that in our lesson plan. So again, I'm repeating what I said, that our lesson plans should not stick to the sessions that are conducted on the video and the worksheets. So all the entire points that are covered by Dr. Watts, the research that she has done is beautiful. And if we are able to weave in each activity as a whole, when the process or the outcome comes, I think we will have the learning to its optimum. So your 11th point is the 3 R's need practice. So reading, yes, absolutely. It's a wonderful time and we all have that time. So let's plan something wherein we touch reading, writing and number education in our lesson plan. So I think the syllabus wala jo point tha, I think it gets covered here. Ensure that it is in the haste to complete books and worksheets, it does not end up being a drill based planning. So here, this is very important that when we are trying to practice reading, writing, and number, our focus should not be to complete the syllabus or the worksheets that we have planned for the coming year. It should not end up being a drill based planning, that okay, I've come over the video today and today we are going to chalo now say the tables 5 times or going to read out a lesson. So there should be some interesting factor attached to everything. So for example, if you're going for reading, you can give the children 10 words today, and ask them age appropriate. See, all the activities have to go age appropriate. So when you're planning, as I mentioned earlier also, supposing you're planning an activity for a toddler, it can be, you can give 5 words. The parents can, show and tell that, help their children to do show and tell about that. If you go to a higher grade, you can add the level of difficulties. Those 5 letters, words can become 10 words. Even for a further first or second grade, you can ask them to write 1 or 2 sentences about it. So I think you can add a lot of creativity when it comes to reading, writing, and numbers. So let's not focus when we are planning our home-based learnings, to just take out the book of the next year and see कि okay ये concept है, मुझे ये concept खत्म करने हैं, तो let me include them in my lesson plan. Let's not bridge that gap this way. Let's not connect our incomplete syllabus to our home-based learning, because they too are totally different and we have to find the connect. So in this process, when we are developing the reading, writing and the number education, automatically when we are focusing on the base development, on the foundation development, automatically when the children come back to school, you will find that foundation has become concrete and whatever you teach is taken well by the children. So let's not hurry for sending out the worksheets wherein only one way, one way learning is going on. So don't make it drill based planning. Don't make it drill based wherein you just focus on the syllabus. Let's move our dimension outside and let's connect. As I mentioned, let's connect the nature in it. Let's connect the life skills in it. Let's connect the social emotional development. And when you're planning any activity, each and every activity should touch these chords somewhere. These chords have to be touched somewhere. So I think if we are able to plan the activity, if we shift our focus from completion of a syllabus to planning an activity which is interesting and the developments that I mentioned earlier, if we touch those developments, automatically syllabus wala usme ghusi jayega. So you don't have to, make another thing out of it. Next point, as much as possible, have a daily connect with the class teacher on Facebook Live or other format. Now, this is very important because a lot of, I'm sure all the educators across the world may be getting messages from the parents, and children want to talk to their teachers, and they must be doing short videos for you, or you also must be doing short videos for them. So we strongly encourage that we have to come out that completing syllabus wala thing, and we have to, jump in their mobiles or and get connected with them. So you can the best thing is that you can just jot down the list of the students that you have in your classroom. For example, say 20, and every single day make a call to one child. Or you can do is you can make a video and you can send it on the parents WhatsApp group. That video has nothing to do with syllabus. That video focuses only on the connection, wherein the teacher expresses the love for the child. The teacher expresses that she's missing the children. So that can be that kind of a thing. If you can tell stories to the children, talk about anything to the children for a while, in general or in specific, to an individual or in general, it will really keep you connected with the students. Because in this time, it is very important that we as educators, we as teachers, rather than educators, I really like the term teachers, because children get connected to this word teacher very, very nicely. So it is very important that the teachers connect with their children on and often, if not daily, weekly, fortnightly. But yes, you have to either a short WhatsApp audio message also can do the needful. Every time you need not come over the camera. So a short WhatsApp audio is fine for that purpose. You can stay connected with the parents also. And in this process, you are reassuring the parents that they are not alone. We are there hand holding them in this process of lockdown. So stay connected with the students. Next point is also very, very interesting. I am in love with all the points. Let it not all be one-way traffic. Choose platforms of communication where children can send you their drawings, videos, so that they feel cherished and valued. Now, here, this point is very important, because what happens, children are very, very, they love, when their teachers give them some assignment to do in any format. So when they are sending us their work, it is very important for us to have a look at that work and give them a little appreciation. So choose, now the platforms are widely open when it comes to online. So choose varied platforms, wherein you can connect with the students. If they have sent you anything, any video, any worksheet, any drawing, any piece of music that they have sent you, try and get back to them with a word of appreciation. So, they feel that, okay, what I have done, because children have that habit of doing and giving it to the teacher, and teacher, tick marks it and gives it back to the children with a short compliment or a suggestion. So I think here it is very important to have that kind of connect, that if the children are sending us anything, they have to feel valued. So we have to get back to them. As I mentioned, you can choose an audio message. WhatsApp audio message is the easiest, So if you're using WhatsApp as a medium wherein children can send you the pictures of their drawings or anything, you can reconnect them with them on that same platform. If you're using Facebook Live and you're getting the comments, you can, get back to those comments and then reply to those comments. So choose a medium wherein you get the things from the children and you are able to reply to them. Most importantly, check for the above in your planning to ensure that this situation does not steal the play from children's lives. So I really and strongly advocate playing. So a lot of schools, they design their curriculum. I'm not against, and I'm not being offensive when I'm talking about this, but we all were not aware how to how to plan a home-based lesson plan. So we have made a lot of errors, in this planning, because our focus was primarily to complete the syllabus, so that when the children resume back, we feel that, okay, we've done a lot of things with them during the lockdown period, and children don't feel left out in terms of the syllabus. We are not wrong in that case. But when we are planning a lesson plan, we have to ensure that ample of time is being given to play. So earlier, when I was doing a session with a school, there was a teacher who came up to me, and there was a question that she posed, that I'm doing a 5-hour planning sessions with my children. So is that okay, or should I increase 5 hours? So I had to intervene in between and ask her that 5 hours weekly. She said no, daily. So I was like, I mean, 5 hours really? So she said that 40 minutes one teacher comes, she does one session, then 40 minutes another teacher comes, she does another session, and the whole program was set up for 5 hours. So I was like, for a toddler. So I was like taken aback, and I had to, interject and tell her that when the children are in school for 5 long hours, it's not the 5 hours that they are learning. It's the recess time, it's the transition time, they go to the toilet, and a lot of other things also happen, prayer time, assembly time, there are free periods also. So it is an amalgamation of all these things when it comes to 5 hours. So when we are planning our lesson plans, time constraint has to be very, very, very specific. So these are trial and errors that we all must have done. So let's recheck on that. Let's reset our buttons and let's restart again. So nothing wrong in doing those things, but when we come to know that these things are wrong practices, let's do it correctly. So if you don't already use a platform for communication with parents, try Seesaw and ClassTag apps. Beautiful two apps. I tried Seesaw. It's a wonderful app. So if you don't have your own platform to communicate, I think one, WhatsApp is excellent platform. Another is Seesaw. Seesaw, if you are able to download, it's a wonderful app. I tried after Swati ma'am suggested. It's very, very beautiful in it. It has a lot of compartments in it wherein, you can ask for children's worksheets, the drawings, everything. It has a compartment, and you can also maintain a record of everything that comes to you. So I think ClassTag I haven't tried yet. I will be trying in some course of time. So Seesaw, of course, I have tried. So y'all can just give it a try. So if you like, you can take it ahead. Keep in mind that we have parents from all cultural backgrounds. Do not keep communication only in English. So here also, I really like this point because yes, parents really want the children to learn English. For that reason, they have admitted their children in English medium schools. But now, when our lesson plans or our activities are going to the parents, we have to keep in mind that we have varied cultural backgrounds. So here we have to use the local language also, because here we are not only addressing the child, we are also addressing the parent. Because if the parents are not able to understand what the teacher is telling or what the teacher wants the child to do, how can you expect the parents to help that child to do that activity? So please use dual languages, and I would specifically mention that Hindi is a universal language in India. Everyone understands. But I think if we can use the combination of English, Hindi, and the local language, if these three can combine, I think it will serve the purpose, because even the parents need to feel connected. If we are coming on the media or on the social media or on any video, and our sessions are out and out in English, it will not make the connect with the parents. So most of the time it happens that parents have come up with these feedbacks that वो टीचर बोलती है कुछ समझ में नहीं आता इंग्लिश में, तो फिर हम कैसे बच्चों को कराएं. So here our main intention is to reach out. So when we are talking about getting the reach, we have to understand the audience that we are catering. And here the audience is not my class of 20 students or 40 students. Here 40 families are attached with me who want to take it further in their homes. So language should not be a barrier. So when I say you have to make a connect, try to incorporate all the three languages in your sessions. And I think local language has to be there, because most of the parents belong to, they don't belong to English background. So it's very important to connect with them. Otherwise, they will lose out on you, and they will then give a feedback that मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता था, so then मैं आगे क्या कराऊं? So I stopped, participating in the sessions. So please keep in mind that reach is very, very important. And here, when I mean to say reach, it's not only your class, it's the families, it's the parents. So use combined languages. Wonderfully in this hangout, Swati ma'am has really researched and put on lot many things. So to sum up what ma'am has said earlier, also I've stressed upon a few things and I've kept on repeating these things because why I repeated, because the kind of feedback that I got in this process when schools started, planning home-based learning. No one had a clear idea. So Swati ma'am came out with this guidelines, this poster, and we had a Google Hangout also explaining this, but that was not enough. So I requested ma'am that, ma'am, can I do this session? So she agreed, and thank you, ma'am, for allowing me to do this session. And she has suggested, a few apps also, which can be useful for us when we are planning our lesson, home-based learnings. So these are a few apps that she has mentioned. This poster, which you're seeing on the screen, I will be circulating this poster on the ECA Facebook page and on all the territory groups as well. But I strongly recommend that all the educators should take a printout of this and keep it on your table. And when you're sitting to lesson plan, you can revisit all the pointers that are mentioned here. It will help you to build a strong lesson plan which touches each and every aspect of learning, not only the ABCs and not only the worksheets. So Bond Smart app is a wonderful app for toddlers. So we have enough time now, so we can always surf and find out what this offers. So these are the links how you can go in, and these are the benefits which I will read it out. These 3-minute games in English and Hindi will allow parents understand how, when, and what to do with their children. So now this app is not only for the parents but for the teachers also, because it gives us a lot of ideas how to design an activity. The games will strengthen parent-children bond, foster brain development. So what we can do is, we can take from the bonds part also, we can take ideas also, and we can then further circulate on our groups. We can ask our parents to download Bond Smart app also. The games will develop their physical, emotional, social language development. The games also help nurture children's social skills. So this is one app which we strongly recommend. Second is Code Monkey Junior. So this is how we go into Code Monkey Junior. And this app is for coding monkeys, coding games, sorry. It enables children to understand directions and movement. When it comes to coding, this app is really wonderful. I downloaded and I myself found it very interesting. Since it has blocks, it makes it easier for children 3.5 to 6 years old to pre-code. With each progressing stage, the children will learn logic, algorithms, sequencing, loops, counting, and direction orientation. It is a very interesting game with many visuals. So Google Bolo, this app I haven't tried, but I will be trying very shortly. So these are the suggestions. The biggest benefit of this app is it allows you to choose 9 languages. This app has a tutor, Dia, which many children be able to connect with her friend or teacher. So children can connect with Dia as a friend or a teacher. The older children can try reading interesting stories with great visuals, and for younger children, the parents will be able to read out stories. This app works offline as well as so does not need any internet connection or once it's downloaded. So you can use it offline also. Google Art and Culture application. So this is a wonderful application. Today I'm going to explore this application. Google Art and Culture application is appropriate for 4 to 6 years. It can teach virtual, visual, spatial skills through some features and give informative knowledge about some personality. This app provokes children's thinking skills. Khan Academy Kids application. I'm exploring this app. Once I do it, I will really put my recommendations that how I found it. But once Swati ma'am has recommended, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. This application is for 3 years onwards. This application is informative. It gets locked after using few features. So I think you'll have to go for the access to that application. Access to Scholastic Learning at Home. Scholastic is a wonderful platform when it comes to reading. I'm sure Scholastic is not a new name. Mozilla Music School app. So here we come to an end of this wonderful presentation, and I hope everyone is enjoyed. So let's focus on the few points that we already discussed during this entire session. These apps can be helpful to us. We can filter what we like from these apps and then incorporate them in our lesson plans. Second is that when we are planning our home-based lesson plans, we have to keep all the guidelines that are being given by ECA, by Dr. Watts, because it will then help us to make a constructive lesson plan, an interesting lesson plan, an engaging lesson plan. Because it's very important to create a lesson plan which is very, very engaging rather than we focusing on just completing the syllabus. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Watts. Thank you, ECA, for providing me with this platform. Thank you so much.